Folks, look up the Diamond Jordans. Look up the Gold Jordans limited to 1,000. They book anywhere from $500 to $1,200. Then look up the Diamond Jordans. This one card, folks, $500 book, doesn't even touch it. And I'm doing it for $199. But we're going to give you a North Carolina unopened wax box.
Alf, you look rested. Today, guys, we are talking about Goldin. Ken Goldin called out the trading card manufacturers, and I thought this was kind of an interesting parlay into a larger discussion that we've all been having here in 2025 and beyond. We also have some crazy card show stats to talk about. Before I dive in, use that PSA code, tell a friend, SCD25 code for the first submitters out there that want $25 off, only a one card minimum to try out PSA, and a hobby that's not getting any less expensive. Make sure to take that $25 off your first submission with SCD25 code. You got a collection to sell? JustCollect.com has a very easy appraisal form, whether it's vintage or modern cards. Leighton Sheldon and the team will take care of you over there. Reach out to me if you have any questions about a collection to sell. Card Capsule, you want great quality supplies, waterproof cases. You need the good stuff and you don't want to spend a fortune for it. Guess what? Promo code's down in the video description in the pinned comments. $25 off your first $100 spend at Card Capsule with the SCD25 code. For all the hobby discounts, we are here for you, my friends. Also, for those that have asked about my microphone issues over the years, I do have a guy, a professional production guy, that's coming on Monday that is going to kind of look at the studio. We're going to make some adjustments, so you might see and hear some different changes. I'm going to get, I think, a different mic for when I'm sitting down and I'm doing those sorts of conversations on StreamYard, and then I'll have another one because I stand up when I do my videos. It's going to be a better mic that should be able to carry through here. And it's actually going to be better this time. I'm going to spend some money. So we will see. Hopefully that all pans out. But over the next couple weeks, hopefully we've got kind of a little bit better production with lighting and sound and some things that are improved. All right, so Collect.com has been offering up some gems with interviews that they have had from the National. And Darren Ravel interviewed Ken Goldin. And I thought it was really interesting when he asked about the repack business. So let's go ahead and play that clip. Do we have the clip? Let's play the clip.
So to me, the biggest problem with the industry is the value in new trading card product being produced. I mean, this is what's amazing to me. And I had somebody, I won't mention a name, but a very large breaker say, look at the show, look at these booths, look at all these tables. Do you know what is making this work? It's repacks. Correct. He goes, the people cannot open up a product, a new box from any manufacturer and get what they feel is enough of return that they would rather know they're not going to get $1 million card out of a repack, but if they can get 70%, 80%, it's better. And I think the problem...
It's better than 80% is better than 10. If they think the average pull is going to get them 10% of what they paid,
correct,
and they believe that repacks are just and they're going to get 70 or 80%, they would rather. And so we should read that as a problem.
We should read that as a problem with every single brand new licensed trading card manufacturer, because the product they are putting out is discouraging so many people that they're letting a $50 or $200 million repack business thrive that literally was non-existent 10 years ago.
So you heard it right there from Ken. Now, Ken is in the singles business, buying, selling. He's an auction house owner. He's not in the breaking business. Sure, he opens up high-profile boxes. He just opened up a $6 million worth of cards or $10 million worth of cards, boxes or whatever with Logan Paul here over the last couple of days. It's getting some fanfare. I haven't watched the video yet, but Professor Sports Cards had something like stage content or something on his thumbnail. I'm going to catch that today, but... these guys are showmen. They're actors. I mean, Logan Paul is a friggin' WWE wrestler now, and Ken Goldin may as well be himself. He's been a showman going all the way back to the shopping at home days with Don West. Shop at home network, the order from your couch type stuff. Before there was actually cordless phones and you had an actual cord into the wall, a landline, you were buying cards from Ken Goldin and Don West on the Home Shopping Network.
Best case buy we have ever done. People say, it's too random. What can I get? What am I guaranteed? What if we told you that you were going to be guaranteed to get one of 4 complete sets that book between $450 and $600 a set? Guaranteed. And what if we told you that if you bought 2 cases, we'll give you 2 different sets. And if you bought 4 cases, we will give you 1 each of all 4 sets. This is going to bring you down probably about $300 or $400 below dealer cost on this piece.
But one thing that Ken said that was interesting was 10 years ago, there wasn't much of a repack industry. Sure, you had mystery boxes. That's really always been there. Mystery packs and that sort of a thing. But to see where it's come now, it is huge business. And of course, that is in part to what he said there. It's on the trading card manufacturers, which I thought he was interesting that he just straight out said it. That it's trading card manufacturers and people just not feeling like they're getting good value out of new products. We had in yesterday's video, we talked about 2025 Topps Chrome. Break Comp Cards on IG did a poll, a couple hundred votes, with 92% of people saying that that was not a good return of value for them. And so what's happened there is that people are looking for, how can I open some sort of a pack? How can I open some sort of a box product and feel like I'm getting some sort of value on it? Now, what I've seen, when I've seen these digital repacks and all of these repacks, it feels like the sweet spot for a lot of those companies is 50% back. Because I swear, every time I've seen an Arena Club pack opened where they do the little song and everything and the digital pack opens, they spent, $200 on it and they get a $100 card. They spent $500 on it, it's $250. It seems pretty streamlined. That's where it usually falls in. Now, there are occasions, and I think that's where people are spinning the wheel to try to get where they spent $1,000 on the digital repack or the physical repack, and they hit that $2,000 card. They get the $5,000 big hit card. Some people get those as well, but it seems like most people, when they buy these things, they're spending $100 and they're getting back kind of 40 to 60% of what they paid in. And that's part of just kind of the gamble that you're jumping into. So I think it goes beyond, though, the manufacturer. So yes, that's one factor, is that people are just not getting the same sort of value that they're used to based on the price points. If a hobby box is now $500 and 7 years ago that hobby box was $150, there's just a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of downward pressure on those singles. And then what's also happened too, manufacturers more parallels, watered down product. So you have watered down product coupled with higher pricing. It's just not going to be great for people that are opening boxes or that are buying into breaks. It just means more breaking losses is what it means. I mean, look, we can dance around it. We can skip around it. We can beat around the bush. But that's really what it boils down to. And most people in this hobby know that. They know when they're getting into a break or a repack product, they're not necessarily guaranteed to get their money back. It's far from a guarantee. Getting new product in general is far from a guarantee in getting your money back here. So, but what are the other factors in play? And really it goes back, I think, to 2016, 2017. There's been a lot more lax rules around gambling in general. Online gambling, sports betting has become huge business over the last 5-10 years. And a lot of that is just because it's all loosened up. The laws have loosened up to where you don't have to be in Nevada, to be able to place a bet. Now you can be in there's like 30 or 40 states that have passed laws to where you can bet there. I think in North Carolina where I am, I'm pretty sure that you can sports bet here. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they passed it here too. So with the rise of sports betting and that becoming more of a fixture in our culture, our society, it's just also trickled down to me in our trading card space. And maybe there's some people that do sports betting and they're like, you know what? I would rather have something tangible. Sports card breaks and repacks offer that for me to where I can get a little bit of the gamble in there. Maybe it's more fun for them to do it that way as opposed to the sports betting stuff. And it probably goes the opposite way where there's some people that are like, hey, I just want to do a straight up sports bet, a parlay. I'd rather not deal with breaks or packs of cards. That's just not the way that they want to kind of do their gambling stuff. So I think there's just a lot that goes into it over the last 10 years. Sure, manufacturers, I think that people just aren't getting enough value out of new product, but then also at the same time, you have this sports betting culture. The gambling culture has just risen dramatically over the last 10 years. It's what a lot of young people are doing. My 19-year-old son, he told me he does this on occasion, but he's like, Dad, I got it on a $20 parlay and I won $60. And I kind of frown at him. I'm like, well, I'm glad you got that one. But I hope that you're keeping these to, $1, $2, $5 little fun bets and it not be like, hey, we got a lot riding on this game. Because once you kind of get into a cycle of it and if it becomes addictive, if it's something that becomes kind of a thing, you get a few wins and you're feeling great about yourself, then all of a sudden you lost 5 in a row. Even professional gamblers, when we look at poker players, they go on these tours. I watched a great documentary on this where it was a professional poker player and he's going around the country to all these different, I wish I remember the name of the documentary because it was great. He's going around the country to all these different casino gambling spots. He was also careful to not win too big at these places to where he would get on kind of like the blacklist. he would go around and like, okay, like I won 5,000 this night. I lost 2,000 this night. I won 8,000 this night. And he's just kind of moving around. And there would be some times where he'd pull up to a place and they're like, hey dude, sorry, you're on our list. You're not allowed in here. But I think the great takeaway there is this is a professional, the guy that does this for a living and has won millions of dollars in his career. But he also accepts the fact that he is going to lose some nights. Like some nights are just not his night, and he's got to know when to cut bait and walk away. And that's how he's able to kind of maintain this and just win more than he loses, because he's going to lose. Everybody's going to lose. It's just that he's just kind of playing that numbers game, and it's working out for him as he's taking his risks. So even with the pros doing this stuff, they recognize that they've got to take some losses. All right, news popped up, and I think this was Ben Burrows at collect.com. I saw this in a few different places, but attendance at the National broke the previous records and Fanatics Fest in the second year. I don't think that was a surprise to people. I didn't go to the first Fanatics Fest, but just hearing from people that had, the second one was more well attended, more well organized. It seemed like people were very happy with that second show, including dealers that were there, attendees, dealers. And I think Michael Rubin had said something like 70% of the Fanatics Fest show is just sports fans. 30% of them are, collectibles people. They're collectors. And I thought it was a really good mix. The actual card show there, I didn't get the sense that it was like, okay, we're having this fan fest and way over here in the back corner, we've got some card tables. The way they had it situated was they put the card tables more in the middle with fan fest things around it. And I thought it was busy. I thought the traffic was good. And they had some really great inventory. There was people that brought really high-end stuff, I think just because it's New York City and trying to make sure that the clientele has got some nice stuff to look at as opposed to it just being all dollar boxes. Some of that, but I think Fanatics Fest was more of let's show people kind of some more premier hobby cards if we can. And they did that. Both of these shows that I went to this year were tremendous. There is an area of opportunity where I talked about it in my last couple of videos. We'll talk about it tonight on Off Centered, so make sure to check in with us at 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be myself, Flippin' Steve, Neo Cards and Comics, and Hambone will be on the show, and we'll have kind of post-national thoughts, as well as something I want to kind of flip in there as something that I think would really round out this show, and it would be amazing if they could pull this off. Again, there's probably things I don't know about behind the scenes space and that sort of thing, but we will talk about it along with all the other hobby topics that you all want to talk about in the chat. Everybody, have an amazing day ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.